concept-wise, this is my favorite Warlock subclass. I think genies and wishes and stuff are super duper cool. But we're here to talk about mechanics, and Genie has one pretty controversial feature. Welcome to Pack Tactics, where I can show you the world. The subclass has some snazzy features, and it may be worth choosing the Genie as your patron. Because hey, it's only an eternity of servitude. But there are layers within layers here. If you choose the Genie, you also get to choose what kind of Genie. Each with their element. I'm gonna butcher these names because I do it every single time. I've done it in many videos. Here they are. Tao for earth, Genie for air, Ifriti for fire, and Madrid for water. This choice affects a couple of things for your Warlock. I love this because I like picking things. And you know, Warlock is already pretty good at giving you choices, like subclasses, Eldritch Invocations, Pact Boons, and of course spells. But this subclass goes even further. Kobold, where's the bagpipes? We're gonna talk about that later, alligator. Now for the actual feature. Expanded spell list. The Genie lets you choose from an expanded list of spells when you learn a Warlock spell. The Genie expanded spell table shows the Genie spells that are added to the Warlock spell list for you, along with the spells associated in the table with your patron's kind. So a universal list which is supplemented with even more spells, which are based on your earlier choice. There's hits and misses here. Phantasmal Force is great. Creation can be awesome if you're allowed to make magical items with it. I don't think that will happen, but you can ask. And finally, Wish. This is the only Warlock subclass that allows you to pick up Wish for your Mystic Arcanum. Wish is fantastic. You already know that. It's probably your main concept after all. But your wishes are actually extra special due to Simulacrum. A Simulacrum cannot regain any spell slots, but using your Mystic Arcanum does not require any spell slots whatsoever anyways. This means your Simulacrum regains the ability to cast Wish for you every day. Keep in mind that you are probably still better off casting Simulacrum targeting someone else. But it's a cool interaction. As for the spells you get depending on the choice of Genie, most lists have at least one big star, but I wouldn't say they are equal in terms of power. Tao gets Spike Growth, Stone Shape, and Wall of Stone as its highlights. Wall of Stone might not be as powerful as Wall of Force, but it's still pretty good. Spike Growth is the biggest highlight here because you can easily become the master of pushing and pulling due to Repelling Blast and Grasp of Hadar. For more details, check out my Spike Growth video. Genie gets Thunder Wave, which fills a pretty good niche for blast spells before second level spells for Warlock. Otherwise, Seeming is pretty good. Maybe I could do a video on that spell. I've seen it a few times in play and it's better than you might think. It does take a while before you get that spell though, so you may be better off with a more front-loaded option. Ifriti gets Fireball, but I would choose Fiend Warlock over this actually. Still though, Fireball is really good on a short rest cooldown, so this is definitely not a bad choice. Then lastly, there is Madrid. The expanded spells are pretty comparable to Fathomless Warlock. I would look at Fog Cloud, Sleet Storm, and maybe Control Water, depending on your campaign. Sleet Storm is the highlight here. Sleet Storm is why you pick this. Now for the music. This video is sponsored by Describe. They've taken a level in Bard. They're collaborating with Michael Gelfi for quality ambience, music, and effects. They now have over 1,000 ambient sounds to set the tone for your adventure. So let's set a scene. There's a battle in a city, so we play this and read the description and tell the players to roll initiative. Now let's mix it up with music. They have over 450 tracks. Here's one that fits the chaotic fight. Now we need sound effects. They have over 200 sound effects for you to play. Look, Gator casts Thunder Wave. You get the point. They're doing a Black Friday sale too, by the way. The subscriptions are now cheaper. And there's an exclusive early access to Describe Audio with a 2-week free trial of the new Composer subscription. And all of this is available right now. Check out the link in the description, and if you like the free trial, then they hope to earn your subscription. Use the code PACKTACTICS at the checkout for an additional 10% off your first subscription payment. Throughout the whole video, I'm just gonna play their music so you get a good taste of it. Back to the video. Genie's Vessel. Your patron gifts you a magical vessel that grants you a measure of the genie's power. The vessel is a tiny object, and you can use it as a spellcasting focus for your warlock spells. You decide what the object is, or you can determine what it is randomly by rolling on the genie's vessel table. Now, the way this is written, you can actually just get the Ring of Three Wishes. I made a video about that. But please don't bring that up with your DM, by the way. Chances are very high they will say no. And some people actually get really upset if you point out an error in the game. Nonetheless, I would still suggest you pick a ring, as you are required to touch your vessel to do stuff. And touching a ring is pretty easy, you know? Kobold, can I pick a ring of spell storing? I only have 2 packed slots. No, Gator, you pick the non-magical objects. Moving on, you can do 2 things while touching your vessel. Use Bottled Respite, or you could use Genie's Wrath. I'm not gonna read it out loud to you guys this time. It's on the screen, you can read it yourself. The bottle. You can enter into your vessel once a day, and it's bigger inside than outside. You can even use it for storage and pimp out your crib for flavor. It's like a secondary home kind of, but eventually you'll run out of time and it kicks you out. If you have an imp familiar from your pack boon, it can carry you around while you're inside. And you know, imp can fly, so you basically have flights. That gives you a lot of utility. And now for Genie's Wrath. Once per turn on a hit with an attack roll, you can deal extra damage equal to your proficiency bonus. Dao does bludgeoning damage, Genie does thunder damage, Afridi does fire damage, and Madrid does cold damage. This is gonna come up a lot with your Eldritch Blast, a cantrip that does attack rolls after all. One interesting combo you could consider here is go Dao and pick up Crusher and Repelling Blast, which also allows you to knock targets upwards 2 squares and have them fall down, taking fall damage. This will also make them prone. Sometimes you can knock them up to 3 squares depending on the angle. But be warned though, this isn't exactly optimal because you need to secure your AC and your concentration first before going for Crusher. But it's your character, you can do whatever you want. I don't care. Hadouken! Kapow! Level 6, Elemental Gift. You now have resistance to a damage type determined by your patron's kind. Dao is Bludgeon, Genie is Thunder, Afridi is Fire, and Madrid is Cold. In addition, as a bonus action, you can give yourself a flying speed of 30 feet that lasts for 10 minutes, during which you can hover. You can use this bonus action a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. It should be obvious by now that Dao is the best one. Not only do they get the best spells, but they also get the best resistance. I'm currently playing in Storm King's Thunder, and let me tell you, that bludgeoning resistance is super duper useful, because almost everything in that game does bludgeoning damage. All the giants throw rocks to do bludgeoning. Their fists do bludgeoning. You get the point. I think the most common damage type enemies do is slashing damage, but bludgeoning is like second place or something. As for the other resistances, they're pretty good as well. And if that wasn't enough, you also get to fly, which opens up a whole new world. Even though it's limited to a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus, this is very, very good. 10 minutes is multiple encounters. And in the base game, you can fly up and shoot down to default kill more than half the game. This is a perfect feature. Everything about it is super duper strong. Level 10, Sanctuary Vessel. When you enter your Genie's Vessel via the Bottled Respite feature, you can now choose up to 5 willing creatures that you can see within 30 feet of you. And the chosen creatures are drawn into the vessel with you. As a bonus action, you can eject any number of creatures from your vessel, and everyone is ejected if they leave or die or if the vessel is destroyed. In addition, anyone including you who remains within the vessel for at least 10 minutes gains the benefit of finishing a short rest. And anyone can add your proficiency bonus to the number of hit points they regain if they spend any hit dice as part of a short rest there. A once per day quick rest button with some extra HP, and you can have your friends inside. That's cool. You finally get to show off your little home, and your imp can transport the whole party too. Capstone, limited wish. As an action, you can speak your desire to your genie's vessel, requesting the effect of one spell that is 6th level or lower that has a cast time of 1 action. This spell can be from any class's spell list, and you don't need to meet the requirements in that spell, including costly components. The spell simply takes effect as part of this action. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish 1d4 long rests. I'm just going to name some spells that you should consider when using Limited Wish. Word of Recall, Scatter, Heal, Globe of Invulnerability, Wall of Force, Animate Objects, Greater Restoration, and Revivify. Remember, you can only pick spells with a cast time of 1 action. Some of these are Warlock options, but it's not a bad thing to consider it as an extra spell slot. Just remember that you have these in your back pocket for when you need them, and keep in mind that there is some delay until you can use this again. But if it's a difference between life and death, then go for it. The other spells I didn't name might be good too, depending on the situation, so just look at your options to see what you like. Kobold! Want to watch Aladdin after this? Sure, let me just finish the video quickly. This is my favorite Warlock subclass in both flavor and in mechanics. It's fantastic. However, there's an armor problem, but that's easily solved with like moderately armored or multiclassing. That's it. End of video. Remember to check out Describe's new audio features, and if you like what you see, they hope to earn your subscription, and so do I, by the way. Anyways, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.